Good morning. So you can imagine that I'm laughing because here I am singing the Canadian National Anthem. Yes, I was teasing them this morning, and we would finish it up and say, "And the home of the brave." That was terrible, wasn't it?
That was beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes. So good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. How is everyone this morning? Deja did this to me on purpose, I think. She hates when I use green paper. I love the color green, but she hates the green paper, and sometimes I put it in the tray and print things out that I need to separate from white paper, and yeah, I think she did this to me on purpose. So today there is a lot of stuff going on. I want to remind everybody we do have our penny drive continuing. The penny drive we are doing to help get rid of pennies in this country because they have stopped minting them and they're going to melt them all down. Well, we're collecting pennies as a fundraiser for our center. So if you have a jar of pennies that are sitting around and you'd like to get rid of them, you can support the center by bringing them in, dumping them into the jar that is out in the lobby, and we will happily collect them and send them back. Well, we'll put the money into our bank account first, but then they will melt them all down. We are doing a contest later on when it gets closer to fall to see how much money we made. We're going to have everyone guess how much money we made on the pennies, and whoever guesses the closest without going over will win a full 32 weeks of Science of Mind 100 class. So, yes, taught by me. And it's going to be a fun class. Speaking of classes, we are continuing the Biology of Belief. Self-Mastery class is actually the name of the course, Science of Mind 222. We're using the Biology of Belief book within that class. We have 3 more meetings. That's happening on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. I do want to let everybody know that we've decided to stop doing the meditation until the fall. Tuesday nights, everybody wants to go out, and it's so lovely out. Nobody wants to come here and meditate, so yeah. No, so we're going to pick up meditation back in the fall when things slow down and people want to, avoid summer a little bit more. Actually, they want to avoid winter, so they want to be inside. So yes, we will pick up meditation in the fall. But we are continuing class Wednesday nights for 3 more weeks. Next week, Sunday, July 8th, is Bring a Friend to the Center week. So if you have friends that you would like to bring to the center and introduce them to us and to our philosophy, we're going to have a great spread of food afterwards. So, that always draws a crowd. We welcome you to bring your friends. There is a spiritual mind treatment request box if you have something in your experience that you are having trouble knowing the truth about. If something is going awry in your experience, you can fill out a spiritual mind treatment request form. Spiritual mind treatment is affirmative prayer, and the treatment request gets handed to a practitioner within our center, and the practitioner does a prayer on your behalf. And we believe in this philosophy that when the word is spoken, it is done. And so healing begins. Healing actually begins with the very act of you writing down what it is that is troubling you. So that is something to be very cognizant of. Also, do follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and at our brand new website at csltoronto.com. I do want to let everybody know that we have a booth at Pride today. And we should be streaming live to the booth because they've got an iPad out there to show the service live, right? And we're right across from where MCC is doing their Sunday morning service at Pride. So good morning to everybody who might be watching us. You're probably all across the street. Who knows? Yeah, we are having a great time this weekend celebrating Pride. And I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later. So welcome to the center. Who's here for the first time? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. We are a spiritual community where all people are welcome. We are a spiritual community where we celebrate spirit. We celebrate that which is the very nature of our being, which is spirit. There is nothing but spirit. There's nothing but, I will use the G word, there is nothing but God. There is nothing but love. There is nothing but this pervasive energy, and it is flowing through the universe. It is the very body of the universe, and since we are part of the body of the universe, that means that's who and what we are. We are love, right here and right now. That is what we are. So we do this oh, you know what, I forgot, because it wasn't on my green sheet. So now I've launched into this whole thing, right? And it's the first Sunday of the month. And on the first Sunday of the month, we do a very special thing. We honor anyone who's having a birthday or an anniversary during the month. So anybody who's having a birthday or an anniversary during the month of July, please raise your hand. And we're going to get to you a ballot. Now, what goes onto this ballot is your name and the name of a registered charity here with the province. We then draw that name out of the hat, and whoever wins, we dedicate 5% of whatever we collect today during the offering, and we send that money to that charity. So it's a great way of honoring you on your birthday or anniversary and helping this community as well. So we're coming around with ballots. If you are having a birthday or an anniversary.
Can I share the nerdy little fact right now about what's next door?
No.
No?
You're stealing my thunder. I know, because now we've got to punt a little bit, right? We've got to punt a little bit.
Okay.
So we're writing down names of registered charities. We're normally much more organized than this. Okay, share your nerdy little fact.
For those of you who don't know, we have a very special historical building next to us on Lang. If you go out the front door, turn right, on the other side of the back lane is called Memory Lane. There's a little college called Maple Cottage. And there is a massive, I'm sorry, I'm going to cry now. There's a massive maple tree out front. And in 1867, when Canada became Canada, there was a songwriting contest, and Alex Muir wrote a song called The Maple Leaf Forever, which became our unofficial anthem. That is the maple tree that inspired that song. It is still standing, so today after service, go say hi.
I'm glad you told it rather than me. So have we collected? We've got one more to collect. Okay. All right. Oh, we can sing. Yes, let's sing. I'm sorry.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
All right. One more. All right. Would you do the honors? Thank you, Patricia. Brian Forwell. And he is donating to a very worthy charity, the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. Oh, make sure that goes down to Deja, please. Thank you so much, and happy birthday, which is tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow. Yes. So, where was I? We were talking about celebrating the one thing. We were talking about celebrating spirit, which is what we do here. And we do this in any number of ways. One of the ways that we do this is by reading things that show up in our songbooks. Today, in honor of Pride, I want to read the thing on the front in the really, really tiny writing. So get your glasses out. Okay. Ready? Oh, that's what it says. Now, as you read this, remember what I said earlier, that when you speak your word, it is backed by a belief. And when you speak your word and it is backed by a belief, this is what happens in your experience. This is what shows up in your experience. So as you read this, determine the degree to which you believe it, because it can all be true, and it may all be true. To the degree that you believe it is how true it is for you. So let's read this together. I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. It is the spirit of all life, truth, and action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light. I radiate joy and life, for life is within me now. Life is within me now. And to celebrate this idea, I'm going to invite to the microphone Judy, who's going to do our reading today. Thank you, Pierre.
This message came to me in the last few weeks at the exact right time for me to know this. These are words from the Dakini. The Dakini in Hinduism and Buddhism is a goddess. And she inspires spiritual practice and is associated with energy. So she helps people to change the energy of negative emotions called poisons into enlightened awareness. And at the end of this reading, you're going to hear the word hope. And in Science of Mind, we know that hope really stands for, it creates doubt. So if I say, I hope it works out, I'm setting myself up for doubt. So keep that in mind as you hear this short passage. The Dakini speaks. My friends, let's grow up. Let's stop pretending we don't know the real deal here. Or if we truly haven't noticed, let's wake up and notice. Look, everything that can be lost will be lost. It's simple. How could we have missed it for so long? Let's grieve our losses fully like ripe human beings. But please, let's not be so shocked by them. Let's not act so betrayed, as though life had broken her secret promise to us. Impermanence is life's only promise to us, and she keeps it with ruthless impeccability. To a child, she seems cruel, but she's only wild. And her compassion is exquisitely precise, brilliantly penetrating, luminous with truth. She strips away the unreal to show us the real. This is the true ride. Let's give ourselves over to it. Let's stop making deals for a safe passage. There isn't one anyway, and the cost is way too high. We're not children anymore. The true human adult gives everything over to that which cannot be lost. Let's dance, the wild dance of no hope.
Mm-hmm. Dance the wild dance of no hope. In the Science of Mind, one of the big quotations in the book, and there's the big book, Ernest Holmes writes, hope is better than despair, but it has no place in effective spiritual mind treatment. It has no place in effective living. So if you find yourself saying, I hope you're well, I hope it's a great day, I hope, you know what I've learned to do? I replace the word hope with trust. So when we talk about spiritual practice, that's something that I've taken into my experience as a spiritual practice. You'll very rarely hear me say hope, and if you do hear me say hope, I've probably slipped up. So it's just something to think about. Thank you for your reading. That was wonderful, really wonderful. So let's turn to page 4 in our songbooks. And today, in light of pride, see, now you got me. In light of pride, because my talk is going to feed into this too. So let's just sing. How could anyone ever tell you is the song and the chant this morning. And if you don't know it, you'll catch on very quickly. Number 4, I'm sorry.
4.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
right here in this moment, I recognize that there is only one power, one infinite presence, one perfect intelligence operating through all life. It is the very core of our being. It is the very core of our beingness. It is who and what we are, and we are each creative expressions of this divine energy. And as perfect creative expressions of this divine energy, I know that what we do, what we say, how we live has power. And so today I claim brilliant lives for every single person involved with this service. I claim brilliant lives for every single person who is touched by anyone who is involved with this service. I claim brilliant lives for everyone. This is who and what we stand for. Perfection in living, because everything that occurs is happening in perfection. And I trust this, I know this to the core of my being, and know that everyone that I encounter is a perfect expression of this divine energy. I see God in the faces of every single person I encounter, and I know that this energy moves forward, unfolding, brilliantly demonstrating fantastic lives. And so in this understanding, in this truth, I step into gratitude and know that this is how my life unfolds, and trust that this is how the lives of every single person in this room and beyond unfold. And I simply let this be the truth. I simply let it be so as I release this word to a law that perfectly corresponds. I know it is done right here and right now. I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And to take us deeper into this truth, I'm going to invite Margaret Ann, our practitioner of the day, to come up and do a spiritual mind treatment.
Good morning, everyone. In this moment, right here and now, there is only one. We are it. It is me. I am it. I am a perfect expression of God. I am a perfect idea of God. I have, as me, all I need, all I require to be. I am beauty, light, love, peace, joy, expression. And I express openly, freely, divinely from my center. This is my doing and my being that is perfect. I am revealed. I let go of everything that is not real, and I express my truest and highest self with ease, with joy, and with grace. Today is a day to celebrate this me that is so wonderful, so beautiful. And I do it with a boundless amount of love and energy. I am God expressing. And I am powerful in this. I let it be. I enjoy it. And I see it in everyone. These words, with gratitude and grace, I release to the law of mind, knowing it is me now. And together we say, And so it is.
Thank you so much for that. Today I celebrate me. Today I celebrate me. Let's all say that together. Today I celebrate me. That's who you are. That's what you have. You have yourself. You have this experience, this body, and this on this plane of action. It is perfectly resonating right here and right now. And when I also think of today I celebrate me, I go back to celebrating that which is within me, the mental equivalent, M-E, the mental equivalent, that which is in my thought, which is creating my experience. I celebrate that, and I know that that is perfectly aligned at all times. And so I invite you to know the same, that everything is always unfolding for your highest good. This is the truth. Regardless of what the circumstances look like right here and right now, everything is unfolding for your highest good. And if you're not happy with what's showing up, trust and know that you can change it. I'm on a roll today a little bit, because I keep going off script, right? Because we actually have a song to sing now. Oh.
Some of you may recognize this song from last November when I was here candidating to take on the role as the spiritual director of this center. And I wanted to bring it back again today because, first of all, I just love this song. It's also a great reminder to me to understand that every single person I see is a perfect drop in the ocean of love. That's the truth. And when you think about the drop in the ocean, the drop contains all that the ocean is. Think about it. Questions unfolding like books in their pages. They just keep on turning for me. And I keep on asking why every question will somehow relate back to me. Oh, I was told by a night of the sun, wisdom can set people free. Be content in your question, and may I just mention, you're only a drop in the sea. You're only a drop in the sea. Oh, lie, lie, da, die. La, da, die, la, da, die, la, da, die. Oh, lie, lie, da, die. La, da, die. Directions revolving, these questions I'm solving, but nobody hears what I say. My sweetest emotion. I have to go back. I have to look at the lyrics. Directions revolving, these questions I'm solving, but nobody hears what I say. My answers unspoken of sweetest emotion. Believe how it feels today. Just believe how it feels today. Oh, lie, lie, da, die. La, da, die, la, da, die, la, da, die. Oh, lie, lie, da, die. La, da, die. Oh, I was told by a night of the sun, wisdom can set people free. Be content in your question. May I just mention, you're only a drop in the sea. You're only a a drop in the sea. Thank you, Pierre.
Treatment is very powerful. Because one of the things I treated for downstairs before the service is that I was going to remember all the lyrics exactly as I needed to. Apparently, that's exactly how I needed to know those lyrics. So we celebrate a number of things today. Obviously today, July 1st, we celebrate Canada Day. I thought Americans were patriotic. You really do give us a run for our money, I have to say. Really do. So Canada Day celebrates the British North America Act, the Constitution Act of 1867. I don't need to tell you, you're all Canadian, so I'm not going to go into the history, right? Except this is where I was going to tell, so this is where I was going to tell the story about the maple leaf, right? Or the maple tree back there, so that's good. It's good. It makes my talk shorter. So the other thing that we're celebrating, at least part of what I celebrate, is I do celebrate Pride because I've been out of the closet as a gay man for 21 years. God bless you, Tony. Yes, I came out at 3 years old. And so I spent the majority of my day yesterday out on Church Street, and we're out there, and we've got our booth, and we've got our 10 reasons why you should, why the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto is for you. They're very funny. One of them, one of my favorites is you dig Jesus, Buddha, Yogananda, and Lady Gaga. Yes, we need to do a Lady Gaga song. I'm just putting that out there. We also have these T-shirts. Ready? I have to get it for the camera. It says, God is so gay on the front. On the front. And then on the back we have this word cloud of all the other things that God is. God is straight, God is lesbian, God is female, God is male, God is life, God is beauty, God is love, God is wisdom, God is tall, God is short. In essence, God is. God is all there is. And this is what we celebrate here at this center. And this is what I choose to celebrate. And remember, my experience as a minister in the science of mind is a choice, and I am acutely aware of that. I am acutely aware of that. It's interesting because other people make different choices, and we were met with some of those people yesterday. Now, I haven't heard the whole story, but apparently we had a man come up to Tanis and say, "You're taking away my Christian God," something like that, right? Someone who says that we were dissing his Christian God. Now, given that God is all there is, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you diss someone else, you're dissing God, right? But the truth is, we're not dissing anyone else's God. We're celebrating God. We're celebrating that which is. And it is inclusive of all things. It is inclusive. There is enough room in this world for everyone. That's what we celebrate. That's what we're celebrating with Pride. Now, it's focused, obviously, this particular celebration, this Pride celebration, is focused on the gay, lesbian, trans, queer, bi community. I'm sure they'll come up with more at some point. But if God is in all things, then we cannot take God out of any equation. So the Christian God is our God. We are not dissing anyone's God. Now, it was also interesting because we had an atheist come up and talk to us yesterday. And it's really interesting how religious atheists can be. It's atheist fundamentalism, I like to call it. this person worked very, very hard for about 20 minutes to try and convince one of our people that we were wrong. That does not support the idea of pride and inclusion to me, unfortunately. And at some point, you have to stop and say, you know what? I honor your opinion, and I trust that you will honor mine, and let's move on and agree to disagree, which is how ultimately it was handled, because they kept talking in circles, right? So one thing that I would just want to be very clear on, you can believe what you want. You can be in this philosophy and believe what you want. You can believe in a Christian God. You can believe, you actually can believe that Jesus is the Messiah. You can believe that Jesus died for your sins. It's not what I teach, but you can believe it. And to the degree that you believe that, that's what will show up in your life. So if that works for you, go for it. Go for it. This is a philosophy about belief. It used to be that they would talk about change your thinking, but you know what? It's the belief behind the thought. It is the belief behind the thought. The belief creates the thought creates the word spoken is done. That's basically what we teach. There is only God, you are God, and there's a law of cause and effect always operating. You can believe what you want. Remember what you believe, and so it is. So we celebrate gay pride, gay, lesbian, trans, queer, bi pride, at the end of June. And it's commemorating another event. It commemorates the Stonewall riots that began in 1969 on June 28th. That's why Pride always falls this time of year, right? Now, all the cities have gotten very smart because a lot of major metropolitan areas used to do it on the same weekend. They've gotten smart because they realize that gay men love to travel. So they've split it up. So in LA, it's a week before New York, and then New York happens, or it's the other way around. And anyway, so Toronto comes, after LA and New York. Montreal is coming up at the end of August. So they've spread them all around so that we can all travel and, party in the streets in many, many metropolitan areas. But it's the concept really began after the Stonewall riots. Now, what happened with the Stonewall riots is there used to be regular raids on gay bars in New York City in the 60s. This particular year, they were fed up. Now, part of what had happened is Judy Garland had died that week. So there was a lot of grief in the gay community. Judy Garland is very much revered as a gay icon. There was a lot of grief going on in the gay community, and when the police tried to raid the Stonewall this particular time on June 28th, they fought back, and riots ensued. And it was then that's really what is considered the birth of gay pride. And every year since, there have been marches, there have been celebrations honoring gay, lesbian, bi, trans, queer people. Now, I couldn't sleep last night because it is so darn hot. I live on the top floor of my building, and I don't have an air conditioner yet. And it was just really brutally hot last night. So I did this, I was laying there in bed. I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about tomorrow? I know I'm talking about pride on some level. And I thought, I need to tell you my personal story. Now, I did come out 21 years ago, and I went, as I was lying there, I thought, oh, I keep journals. I should go find my journal from that period of my life. So I went and I found my journal, and I knew exactly which one it was. June 23rd, 1991, I went to my first Pride event. I was 18 years old. I was not 3. I had just graduated from high school. Now, I had come out to some close family, or some close friends. I had just the week prior to that come out to my adopted mom, but I had not come out to my father yet. Now, those of you who were here for my installation, you know that my father and I are very close. We have a very good relationship. We had a very strained relationship at that point in my life because I was in the rebellious teenager phase still at 18 and having just finished high school and I'm moving out of the house and I'm so, In my journal, this is what I wrote about going to my first gay pride event. I felt for what could be the first time in my life so accepted by all these people. all people around whom I could be myself. I have a feeling that is truly indescribable. I can really only say that it must be freedom. Freedom. For 18 years, I had lived under the belief that I had to be something that I was not. And I lived with this, and it demonstrated in my experience in negative ways. I was very, very unhappy. Opening myself up and accepting the fact that I was a gay man changed my entire life. Now, what's really funny is that this is what I wrote about. I then have a journal full of trials and tribulations that crosses another 3 years. It talks about my first boyfriend after having come out. That lasted 2 weeks. And actually, even though I had come out of the closet, a lot of the questions, because I reread my entire journal last night, a lot of my questions were, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I was so proud, I was so happy, I was so glad that I was finally able to accept this thing in my life that had been weighing down on me. And I still had the question, what's wrong with me? And I still had my dad to come out to. That was pretty, he may be watching. I don't know if I've ever told him this story. He's heard parts of it. So coming out to my father was quite an experience. Shortly after the Gay Pride event, my father and I took a 2.5-week road trip to California, and I had decided that this was the time to tell him, great, you're going to be in a car for 14 hours. Great time to make that kind of decision in your life. So I go on this road trip. I am angst-ridden the entire time, and all I can think the entire trip is, I could do it now. I could come out to him now. I could just do it. I could just say the words. I could say the words. I should say the words. So that was driving from Tucson, Arizona to San Francisco, where I have extended family who were all living there. I didn't do it on that road trip. The 2.5 weeks that I was there, I kept looking for the opportunity. I kept looking for the right time. I kept looking and looking and looking and never found it. And then I went crazy when we took a sailboat ride out in the bay, Sosoon Bay, which is north of San Francisco Bay, on my uncle's boat. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to anyway, because there's an archive record of this, that my uncle did something illegal. Okay, so my uncle had a sailboat, right? And so we go out on the sailboat, and all I'm thinking on this whole sailing trip is, I could come out to him now, yeah. I'm not paying attention to the fact that we're out, beautiful Sosoon Bay, and we're having a glorious time sailing. All I can think is, I could come out. I should just do it. I should just come out right now, right? Now, Sosoon Bay has 2 rivers that empty into it. And we started going up one river. We thought, oh, no, I don't think we're going to do that. Let's cut over and we'll go up the other river, right? So what we didn't realize, and we didn't have any charts, is that in the middle of the bay, literally the middle of the bay, it gets to be about 1 meter deep at high tide. We ran aground in the middle of the bay at high tide. Now, what was illegal of my uncle is he had his 25-foot sailboat registered as a rowboat in the state of California. He did not have a working radio, and we had basically no way of contacting or trying to get help. We were out there for about 12 hours. So imagine, you run aground at high tide. Your boat eventually is going to do this as the tide goes out, right? So I remember I went into the cabin of the boat, and I'm thinking, this could not be a worse experience. And I remember sitting there looking at the window, the cabin window, as there's water sloshing up against it, thinking, Maybe I should come out to him now. I could come out. I could come out. I could come out. It's just, dreadful. It was a dreadful, dreadful experience. We were eventually rescued. After night had fallen, and the tide had come back in. He had a spotlight, and we saw a helicopter flying by. We flashed SOS to them, and they sent the Coast Guard. Oh, so then there's the other thing, right? They send the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard were very nice. They let my uncle off with just a warning. But here I am, an 18-year-old, newly out of the closet gay man, who's now being rescued by very hunky soldiers. Very hunky soldiers. Anyway. So I went through this entire trip. I never came out to my dad. It was a pretty miserable trip. We got back into Tucson, and a couple weeks later, and trust me, the irony of this does not escape me. We were doing some reconstruction on the house, and we were literally building a wall. And I had decided this was the day that I was definitely going to do it. And I had told my father's girlfriend, it was his fiancée, and they were still living in separate houses, but I knew she was coming over later, and I decided I had to do it before she came over because I had told her that I was doing it. Now I had to be held to the integrity that I had put out for myself. I had to do what I said I was going to do. I didn't do it. She called, and she said, I'm supposed to be there in about 10 minutes. Do you want me to come over? Have you done it yet? I said, no, I haven't done it yet. But come over. Now I know I had 10 minutes. She got there, I hadn't done it. They sent me out to get food, to go get some takeout. And as I was walking out the door, I paused, and I thought, this is it, I'm doing it right now. I turned. The way it was set up, they both had their backs to me. And my father could sense that I had paused. He turned and he looked at me. I broke down into tears. I turned to his girlfriend. I said, will you please just tell him? And I ran out the door. So the truth is, I never came out to my dad. I was outed at my request to my dad. So, Dad, I just want you to know I'm gay. Little did I know, well, on some level I knew. But it's so hard to be blinded to the truth when you have something so heavy weighing on you. And that's really what the point of this is about today. What is weighing on you that you are having trouble knowing the truth about? And when that comes up in your life, what do you do about it? What do you do about it? What I didn't know then, what didn't I know then? I didn't know that I had a father who was so loving and supportive. He didn't care. He didn't care. He didn't change his love for me. He knew exactly who I was. I mean, please, I was pretty gay. I mean, I was a theater student, and I went to a fine arts high school and I did dance instead of PE. Hello? It's funny, he has said to me recently, he says, I just came across some pictures of your bedroom recently when you were in high school, and how I couldn't have known is totally beyond me. Because of the way I had it decorated, right? But what do I know now? What do I know now? There is belief that is operating in your experience. I had a belief that this was a devastating thing. And that's what was operating in my experience. It was showing up. Now, here's the other thing about belief. It shows up instantaneously. Instantaneously. I had nothing to fear, ultimately. If I had actually just come out, it would have been done deal, and my life would have changed in that instant. And when I was outed at my request, my life changed in that instance. In that instant. The belief is what held me down, not the actual experience of coming out. the belief about what it meant, my decision, my idea about that is what held me down and held me back. Do you have any of that operating in your life? It doesn't have, maybe you are gay and that's what's weighing you down. I don't know. But if there is something in your life that is weighing you down, take a look at it. There is another side to it. And if you need, when you need support, know that you have it. Trust that you have it. In this center, you can always see a practitioner, or you can come and talk to me. You have support. Your beliefs do define you. They define your experience. This is what I have learned in the 21 years since that experience. And then there's this part of me that still wonders, how much of me is still on that boat with beliefs that are weighing me down? Still sitting there, wanting to come out in some way. Ernest Holmes writes, "Free yourself forever from the thought that God may be pleased by a life of sacrifice, that the world is in any way better because of your misery, or the righteousness that is more perfectly expressed through poverty than abundance. You are the presence of God. You are the presence of God. To what degree are you living it? I have a dream. Part of my dream is out on Church Street today, to help everyone in this entire world understand their own divinity and to express only from that place. It's not just on Church Street. It's on Queen Street. It's up on the Danforth. It is everywhere I go. I look at people and all I can do is recognize their divinity. This is the job that I have tasked myself with. Anything you can dream of is not too great for you to undertake if it hurts no one else and brings happiness and good into your life. Anything you can dream of. So today, to end the talk, I'm going to invite us to do an affirmation together. So I'm going to say this first, and then we're going to repeat it together twice. So this is the affirmation. Through me, God is proudly dreaming, and today I proudly let it out. So let's say, do you want me to say it again? Yeah. I'll say it again and then we'll say it together. Through me, God is proudly dreaming, and today I proudly let it out. So let's say that together. Through me, God is proudly dreaming, and today I proudly let it out. One more time. Through me, God is proudly dreaming, and today I proudly let it out. This is the truth of who you are. I bless you, I honor you, and I give great thanks for you. Namaste. So in honor of the divinity that lies within each and every one of us, we now express on some level that divinity by our offering. Oh, perfect. So you'll see I have a popsicle stick. For those of you who are new here, the popsicle stick represents that I'm part of the Count Me In program, where my contributions to the center are automatically deducted from my account on a weekly basis. If you're interested in knowing about that, you can speak to me or any of the board members. Judy and Jim, who will be passing the baskets, are board members. Tanis is also a board member. Helen is a board member, and they can tell you about that. But it's interesting, I've got the one today that says give on one side and receive on the other. Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. Because as you give, so you receive. Any place that you cut off the flow, you have stopped the flow back to yourself. If you cut off the giving, you cut off the receiving. That's the way it works. Now, what I also like to suggest is that you give to where you are spiritually fed. Give to where you are spiritually fed. It might be this center. It might not be this center. I'd like to think it was this center. But money is God in action. This center survives because of you, and we are able to take this message into the community because of you. And so I give great thanks for what everyone gives today, and trust and know that everyone is giving from their heart and not out of obligation. So let's sing together the new song, which is on a loose sheet, probably clipped to your book. It's called I Love, our new offering song that was written by Pierre. And the basket will go around as we sing this. And if you'd like to stand up and move your body, you can do that too.
I live, I breathe, I live, I receive, I laugh, I love, I'm a part of what's here, what has been, what's still to be seen. I live, I breathe, I
to come up and do the blessing over the offering.
There is only one presence, one divine mind, and one heart that is open, expansive, giving and receiving. The heart of this center that is represented in each one of us is growing, is expanding in its capacity to serve, to give, and to receive. It is in the flow of love. And the gifts in these baskets is a token of this love that is growing, expanding, and just being. With gratitude, with love, with acceptance and joy, I accept on behalf of this center. And I know that this money, this expression goes forth and does good works. I am grateful. These words, I release them to the law of mind, knowing it is done now and always. Together we say, and so it is.
Thank you so much. I want to offer great gratitude to everyone who has helped make this service possible. I also want to offer great gratitude to everyone who has helped make this Pride festivity so successful on Church Street. So these shirts, we now realize we have to mass produce them, because you can't imagine the number of people who have asked us where they can get them. So we'll have them for sale at some point. But I do want to say thank you to Susan and Helen below for setting up this morning. Also our greeters today, Wim and Jim. Our reader, Wim and Jim, yeah. Yeah. Our reader, Judy, who is downstairs now because she is also a board member on duty today with Jim, and so I give great honor and thanks to them. In the bookstore today, Terry and Brian in our sound booth, and Pierre and Tanis and Patrick and Brian all in the band. Thank you so much. Mahala and Sharoz are downstairs with the kids today. Yes, yes, yes. Lucy came in and cleaned. Thank you so much for that. I also want to mention, I don't know if I have the full list, but I'm going to mention everybody that we tried to remember today who helped out with Pride. First of all, Susan. So we had these bookmarks that we're handing out, and Susan printed those, and they've been a huge success as well. Fred Wimet, who organized all of the Pride events, he was heading the committee this year. Also, I want to thank Tony for printing out the iron-on transfers that we used for our shirts. They bled a little bit, but you know what? That's okay. Because it just, it was like a rainbow, what do we call it?
A rainbow effect.
It was a rainbow effect on the shirt. So that goes in line with the rainbow flag, right? Mark, Susan, Sharoz, Tanis, Pierre, Lena, Tony, Michelle, Judy, Barb, Liz. A ton of people have been out there helping talk to people at the booth. So if you do find your way down on Church Street today, please stop by the booth and say hello. The parade starts at 2 o'clock. It's quite an experience. I'll tell you, I have not been to a Pride event in over 10 years because I never wanted to go when I lived in LA because it's too much of a hassle in LA. But here, it's easy. You get on the TTC, you're there in like 10 minutes. It's awesome. So I've had a really good time. I also want to honor all of you and say thank you for being here today. It is such a joy that I get to get up and do this and lead this congregation every week. And I just say thank you for that, for your trust in me. I'm going to look at the lyrics for this last song.
So, as we finish this out today, I invite you to take this moment to simply reflect on what you've heard today. To understand that there is that within you which is divine. And it's all of you. It's not a part of you. It is the very core of who you are, and it is expressing and expanding throughout your beingness. This is what we're here to celebrate. And so I give great honor and I give great thanks for this. And I understand that this is the truth. This is what I experience in every moment. When I forget, we are one, and I regret things that I've done. I go within my heart and soul. I start again, knowing I'm whole. God is right here where I am. I am right where I should be, as I fill my mind with peace. I feel it washing over me. God is right here where I am, flowing in and out through me. In this moment, I am free. In this moment, I am free, for I am the one. As each of us are, we are all expressing as this perfect divine energy right here and right now, because that's all there is, that's all there ever will be, that's all there ever can be. And so in this moment, I claim and I know that there is a perfect expression happening by means of each and every one of us in every facet of our lives. I know that we are all abundant, pure health. I know that we are all perfect creative expressions and perfectly creative expressions who are creating expressively at all times and in all ways. I trust and I know that the relationships in our lives align for good. This is the truth. For God is back of all of it, expressing through it as it. And so with a grateful heart, I simply allow this to be. I know that this time we have spent together is perfect. It is exactly what it has needed to be and carries us forth into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And so in deep gratitude, I simply let this be the truth as I release this word to law, knowing it is complete, it is done. Right here and right now, I claim it to be so. I know it is so. And together we say, and so it is. When things go wrong and my way is dark, and when I lose my song and life breaks my heart, I go within my heart and soul. I start again, knowing I'm whole. God is right here where I am. I am right where I should be, as I fill my mind with peace. I feel it washing over me. God is right here where I am, flowing in and out through me. In this moment, I am free. In this moment, I am free. And so it is. I failed to thank Margaret Ann, and I want to give great honor to you. Thank you so much for your treatments today. So, with that, let's breathe the same air. This is number 33. I remembered. It's number 33 in your songbook. So if you'd like to stand up, and we'll take this out into the street today with Breathe the Same Air.
Well, it's an idea whose time has come. A new generation decides as one of the same small planet we are born. It's never been so obvious before. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we oughta get along better, you and I. The future of history is crystal clear. The borders between us will disappear. There's too many lives on the line. There's so many lives on the line. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we oughta get along better. You and I, we breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we oughta get along better. You and I.
Have a great week, everyone.